Hey there, fellow changemakers. Are you ready to supercharge your fundraising game in 2025? Well, buckle up because Transform 25 is coming your way and it's going to be epic. Imagine this 2 full days of mind blowing insights, game changing strategies, and pure fundraising magic. We're talking about the creme de la creme of the nonprofit world coming together to share their secrets. We've got Floyd Jones, yes, the Floyd Jones, as our MC, and Nathan Chappelle will be joining us as a featured speaker. I mean, come on. How incredible is that? These guys are absolute legends in the nonprofit world, and their insights will be transformative for everyone who attends. But wait, there's more. For starters, we've got Mallory Erickson, Cherian Koshi, Tammy Zonker, and Amy Eisenstein all lined up to blow your fundraising socks off. And trust me, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds amazing, but what's the catch? Well, here's the kicker. It's absolutely free. Thanks to our friends over at Kindsight, our transformation sponsor, and our amazing Catalyst sponsors, Give Butter, Bloomerang, Community Boost, and all our sponsors, you can join 2,500 plus of your peers without spending a dime. We are grateful for their partnership. So are you ready to transform your fundraising and change the world in 2025? Here's what you need to do right now. Head over to fundraisingtransform.com/transform25 and save your free spot. I'm telling you, these seats are hotter than a summer sidewalk, so don't wait. Mark your calendars for January 22nd and 23rd. This is your chance to be part of something truly extraordinary. Claim your free spot now and get ready to take your fundraising to stratospheric heights in 2025. Remember, visit fundraisingtransform.com/transform25 and save your free spot now. Your future self will thank you. See you there.
There's no one-size-fits-all approach to creating a successful fundraising strategy and plan.
People are nervous, right? It's a big deal. We're raising $10 million, even if we're raising $1 or $3 million, depending on the size of the org.
Major gift fundraising is not deadline driven. It really is probably the only type of fundraising, along with planned giving, that is not deadline driven.
AI comes on the scene that's affordable, accessible, that can provide insights and personalization at scale.
That's the first core element of this fundraising engine or funnel, is making sure that the top of your funnel, the beginning of your fundraising process, you are in front of the right people.
What do the people we serve need? And how do we open the door to help them get there?
What happens a lot of times is we get this discomfort or this fear, and our brain tells our body to stop.
We can acquire donors and we can automate everything. And that's where I worry, at least personally, around the perils of AI, that it would remove humans from the interaction.
This is the Intentional Fundraiser Podcast.
Welcome to the Intentional Fundraiser Podcast, where we dive deep into strategies, insights, and actionable tips to elevate your major gifts program. I'm your host, Tammy Zonker, and I'm thrilled to have you join me for today's episode. Now, before we jump in, I want to share a little behind-the-scenes info with you. Inside my Transformers community for fundraisers and nonprofit leaders, we create monthly themes to focus and deepen our learning. And guess what? Our January theme is all about transformative campaign success. So you're getting the inside scoop right here on the Intentional Fundraiser Podcast. Let's start by acknowledging something important. Whether you're considering a major building project, expanding your programs, or aiming to secure your organization's long-term financial stability, a well-executed campaign can be the catalyst for achieving those ambitious goals. But here's the thing. I know that for many of us in the nonprofit world, the idea of launching a capital or comprehensive campaign can be both exhilarating and, let's face it, pretty daunting. I remember when I first started in fundraising, the mere mention of a capital campaign would send shivers down my spine. It seemed like this massive, intimidating mountain that I wasn't sure I could climb. But over the years, I've learned that with the right preparation, strategy, and mindset, these campaigns can truly elevate our fundraising efforts to new heights and create lasting impact for our causes. Now let's get real for a moment. Preparing for a capital or comprehensive campaign isn't a walk in the park. I've seen firsthand the challenges that many of us face when embarking on this journey. And you know what? One of the biggest hurdles is often our own self-doubt. I remember sitting in a board meeting early in my career, listening to discussions about a potential capital campaign and thinking, are we really ready for this? Do we have what it takes? It's natural to wonder if our organization is truly prepared for such a massive undertaking or if we have the capacity to see it through. But here's what I've learned, that self-doubt, while natural, shouldn't hold us back. It should motivate us to prepare thoroughly and strategically. Beyond our internal doubts, there are external challenges too. Crafting a compelling case for support that resonates with donors in an increasingly competitive philanthropic landscape is no small feat. And let's not forget about donor fatigue. It's a real concern, especially in the wake of global events that have stretched many thin. Now, here's a surprising fact that might put things in perspective. According to a study by the Indiana University Lilly Family School of Philanthropy, only about 1% of all charitable gifts in the United States are considered mega gifts of $10 million or more. When I first learned this, it was a real eye-opener. What does this mean for us? Well, it means that for most of our organizations, success in a capital or comprehensive campaign will depend on our ability to engage a broad base of donors at various giving levels. It's not about waiting for that one huge gift to drop from the sky. It's about building a strong, diverse donor base and engaging them effectively. I can't stress enough how crucial it is for us to master the art and science of capital and comprehensive campaigns. These campaigns are not just about raising money. They're about elevating our entire organization and our relevance in our community, region, nation, or world. They push us to clarify our vision, strengthen our case for support, and deepen relationships with our most committed supporters. A few years ago, I was working with a small nonprofit that had been doing great work for years, but was always struggling to make ends meet. When we decided to launch a comprehensive campaign, something amazing happened. The process of preparing for the campaign forced us to really articulate our vision and impact in a way we never had before. We spent months refining the case for support, and in doing so, we actually discovered new aspects of the mission that they hadn't fully appreciated. By the time we were ready to launch, their entire team, from the board to the volunteers, had a clearer, more passionate understanding of the work. And you know what? That clarity and passion were infectious. Their donors felt it, and it showed in their support. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Kindsight builds technology that helps nonprofits make a difference. It was born when three leading-edge nonprofit technologies, iWave, Ascend, and Nonprofit OS, came together to better support organizations with purpose-built tools designed to make fundraising easier, faster, and more effective. With a combined 40 years working with nonprofits and other fundraising organizations, we have seen the generosity landscape evolve and change in ways we never could have predicted. It's become clear that the best approach to fundraising is a personalized and meaningful one, a human approach. But that's not easy when goals are high and resources are scarce. That's where Kindsight comes in. With Kindsight, fundraisers can find and qualify potential donors with the world's largest proprietary donor database, engage with those donors quickly and effectively with AI-powered content generation, and keep everything on track with a centralized CRM built specifically for fundraising teams. Connect your story to donors who care about your cause at any scale in real time. That's the power of Kindsight.
Learning how to prepare for and execute campaigns effectively can be a game changer for your organization. In an era where nonprofits are increasingly aiming to tackle complex societal issues, having the ability to mount a successful large-scale campaign can mean the difference between maintaining the status quo and truly moving the needle on your mission. Now, I want to take you back to my first capital campaign. That was an experience. I remember the mixture of excitement and sheer terror when our board decided it was time to launch a campaign for a new building. We were so eager to get started, but looking back, we were woefully unprepared. We made almost every mistake in the book, from neglecting to recognize our overdependence on grant and program revenue and the associated underdevelopment of individual supporters to setting unrealistic campaign goals. I still cringe when I think about how we announced the campaign publicly before securing the necessary lead gifts, rookie mistakes, right? But you know what? Those experiences taught me valuable lesson that I've carried throughout my career. One of the biggest challenges I've observed, both in my own experience and working with other organizations, is the tendency to rush into a campaign without proper planning. I've seen organizations jump in head first, only to find themselves struggling to keep their heads above water. Another common pitfall is underestimating the resources required, both in terms of staff time and financial investment. I remember one organization that thought they could run a $10 million campaign with just one part-time development director. Spoiler alert, it didn't go well. Over the years, I've developed a quiver full of strategies that have consistently led to campaign success. Here are a few that I swear by. Conduct a thorough feasibility study. I can't stress this enough. A well-executed study tests your campaign's viability and helps you refine your case for support. Organizations that invest in this crucial step are far more likely to meet or exceed their goals. Capital Campaign Pro, where I serve as a senior campaign advisor, has innovated in the space of feasibility studies, equipping organizations to conduct their own advisor-guided feasibility studies and, in doing so, deepening relationships with their supporters. Build a strong campaign team. Your staff and volunteers are the backbone of your campaign. I have found that investing in training and providing clear roles and responsibilities can make all the difference. Develop a compelling case for support. Your donors need to understand why your campaign matters. I always encourage organizations to focus on impact rather than just their needs. Remember, you're not just asking for money. You're inviting donors to be part of something transformative. Create a detailed campaign plan. A comprehensive plan, including a timeline, budget, and gift table, is your roadmap to success. I've seen too many campaigns falter due to lack of planning. Not long ago, I worked with a small nonprofit on their first comprehensive campaign. They were a youth mentoring organization that had been operating on a shoestring budget for years. Their goal was to raise $5 million to expand their programs and establish an endowment. And now for a final word from our sponsor.
Every fundraiser knows that the secret to success lies in creating authentic connections. This starts with data, but that data needs to turn into insights that inspire action, which in turn fosters generosity and long-term donor relationships. Kindsight's fundraising intelligence solution lets any nonprofit do just that at any scale, with the world's largest proprietary donor database, AI-powered content generation, an award-winning CRM built specifically for fundraising teams, and much more. Go to kindsight.io to see it in action.
Initially, they were hesitant about conducting a feasibility study, worried about the cost and time involved. But I convinced them it was a crucial investment. And oh my, did it ever pay off. The study not only confirmed that their goal was achievable, but also helped us identify key donors and refine our messaging. We spent several months building a strong campaign team, including board members, staff, and leadership volunteers. We provided training on everything from making asks to stewarding donors. This investment in people paid huge dividends throughout the campaign and beyond. Our case for support went through multiple iterations. We moved away from simply stating what the organization needed and instead focused on the impact these funds would have on the youth in our community. We used powerful stories and compelling data to make our case. Finally, we created a detailed campaign plan outlining every step of the process, from the quiet phase to the public announcement and beyond. This plan became our roadmap throughout the campaign. The result? They not only met their $5 million goal, but exceeded it by 15%. Even more impressively, their annual fund grew by 20% during the campaign period. This last point is crucial. A well-run campaign shouldn't cannibalize your annual fund. It should help it grow. Now let's talk about technology for a moment. In today's digital age, having the right tools can significantly streamline your campaign efforts. Many of my clients have had great success using wealth screening and prospect research tools from Kindsight and Donor Search, donor management tools from Bloomerang, Donor Perfect, and Razor's Edge, and online giving tools from GiveButter. These platforms offer user-friendly interfaces and robust reporting capabilities to help you stay on top of your campaign progress. But remember, technology is a tool, not a magic wand. The most sophisticated software in the world won't replace good old-fashioned relationship building and solid fundraising practices. I want to leave you with some concrete action items to consider as you prepare for your next capital campaign. First is assess your organization's readiness for a campaign. Be honest about your strengths and weaknesses. Do you have the staff capacity? Is your board fully engaged? Are your financials in order? Next, identify and cultivate your top prospects. Remember, in most campaigns, 60 to 75% of your goal will come from your top 10 to 15 gifts. Start building and strengthening those relationships now. You want to develop a strong case for support. This is your chance to articulate your vision and impact. Make it compelling. You must create a detailed campaign plan and timeline. This should include everything from your quiet phase strategy to your public kickoff plans and beyond. And you have to invest in the right tools and training for your team. Whether it's software or skill building workshops, make sure your team is equipped for success. Looking back on my journey, I'm grateful for both the successes and the failures that have shaped my approach to capital campaigns. Remember, a successful campaign is not just about reaching a financial goal, it's about strengthening your organization and deepening donor relationships. I hope this episode has given you some food for thought as you consider your own campaign journey. Remember, every organization's path will be unique, but the principles of thorough preparation, strategic planning, and donor-centered fundraising are universal. I'd love to hear about your experiences with capital and comprehensive campaigns. What challenges have you faced? What strategies have worked well for you? Let's continue this conversation on my LinkedIn profile. You'll find the link in the show notes. Thank you for joining me on the Intentional Fundraiser podcast. Until next time, keep transforming your fundraising so you can transform the world.
The Intentional Fundraiser podcast is a Fundraising Transformed original. I'm Trent Thompson, the executive producer and CMO and head of community at Fundraising Transform. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate and review it and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Visit fundraisingtransform.com to get resources mentioned during this episode and subscribe to our Scaling Major Gifts newsletter.